A huge thanks to the band that performed right before us. I think everybody's thoroughly entertained now, so half the pressure is already relieved off my shoulders. I would like to start by saying it's been a while since I've been on this stage, and just like I've always done when I've been here before, I would like to start by telling a story. Today, the story I would like to share with you is about a man and his experiences. Mr. Sunil Raghavan. Mr. Sunil is 40 years old. He was born and brought up in Kerala. As a young child, he loved playing table tennis. And one day had the dreams of joining a huge corporation. Well, he worked hard and landed his dream job in Microsoft, no doubt one of the biggest and best companies in the world. He even got the opportunity to work for them in 3 different countries: India, Malaysia, and Singapore, where he currently resides. Happy ending, right? Well, unfortunately, at the age of 34, Sunil was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. It is a progressively terminal disorder that affects the nervous system. And of course, the parts of the body that are controlled by nerves. The symptoms start slowly, like a barely noticeable tremor in one's hand. But then eventually, over time, complete loss of motor responses in the body. Parkinson's disease is one of those afflictions that we have not yet found a cure to. And despite the relatively young age of 34, with this diagnosis, Sunil did not waste any time feeling sorry for himself. He picked himself up and re-acclimatized himself back into the corporate world. Well, when things go bad, they always go from bad to worse. In less than a year from his diagnosis, it turns out in 2015, his son Vasu, a child with many motor-related disabilities while growing up, was diagnosed with cardiofasciocutaneous syndrome. This is another terminal disease which we have not yet found a cure to. This affliction is caused by a faulty gene expression and affects the heart adversely. Well, what could Sunil do? This was one of the toughest moments of his life. How could he tell his child, who he tucks into bed every night and tells a joke for him to fall asleep, that they're both suffering from terminal diseases? How could he possibly? Fast forward to today. Sunil is the lead volunteer of a non-profit organization that he co-founded with his wife that is aimed at promoting body and brain health care. He does this by aiming at rehabilitation and harmony by playing the sport of table tennis. This organization looks to bring people like Sunil and his son and other people who are suffering from motor-related illnesses and give them a new lease on life. This organization now has a team strength of over 60 volunteers, curating over 2,000 hours of volunteering training content with over 200 active beneficiaries. Well, it turns out that the therapeutic qualities of table tennis have actually alleviated symptoms for all of those who are within the organization, up to a certain point where the opponents who play Sunil on the TT court cannot even believe that he's suffering from Parkinson's disease. Doesn't that fill you just a little bit of optimism? Well, all of this is because one man stood up with an idea and he said, I will help those around me, especially the ones who need it the most. And I will build a non-profit organization. Non-profit. In 2023, that's such a funny word, right? Everybody around us is fighting tooth and nail to get their hand on any single note of currency that they possibly can. And everybody around us has goals of being financially rich and leading a largely successful life. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But in this world, there are few gems of individuals who are working to only do certain things because it brings about positive social impact. Good health and happiness on the people around them. These social warriors are all around us, running on scraps and fumes and fighting Herculean tasks like climate change, animal and human healthcare, education, building homes for the homeless and feeding the stomachs of those who are hungry, underwriting underprivileged children. And there is an argument to be made that these are the sectors of society that require the most amount of resources to maximize their social impact. But unfortunately, these are the exact same sectors of the society that are strapped for funding, manpower, and generally speaking, resources. In 2023, there is an argument to be made that technology is the most important resource that we have at our disposal. Right? Today, 40% of the real world market is constituted by technology. Countries like Uganda, Ghana, Bangladesh, all of them boast of over 70% of their adult population having access to cell phones. Forbes says that information technology is the fastest growing sector of the decade. Around the world, over 2.85 billion users of social media of some form exist. And with over 90% of the world's data that has ever been created in human existence has been created only since 2019. The beauty of technology, whether it's retail, defense programs, mass media, supply chain, education, healthcare, the ubiquitous nature of technology is everywhere. Whether it is living vicariously in a simulated reality or securing nuclear missile launch codes, or even sharing the latest social media trend with a friend of yours with just a click of the button. Technology is everywhere. And the beauty of technology is that it does not span borders. It can overcome the constraint of demographics, which is why it is the perfect resource to build operations, logistics, and general strategy, whether it is the smallest corporation or the largest governments of the world. But then again, even technology comes at a cost. Whether it is funding or, more importantly, access to skilled technologists. That's on the other side of this coin, isn't it? The triangulation and location of all of these skilled technologists who form around a $4.85 trillion industry with over 80 million jobs around the world spanning 55 countries, where 40% of these employees are working for a top technological giant. In India, one of the largest technological hubs of the world, many company consensus exercises and employee surveys have shown that once students graduate from college, where they get the opportunity to learn about a plethora of technologies, they are limited to using very few technologies that their firm advocates or uses at that point of time. Thus, this ends up creating an existential crisis for the employees of the firm. They suffer from something known as another cog in the wheel syndrome, which means they are not able to explore different technologies that actually helps them, or giving them a sense of feeling that they have accomplished something by not being able to tangibly experience the fruits of their labor. Thousands of software developers across the world are working day and night, writing thousands of lines of code for a product that they feel like they can never tangibly experience firsthand, unless they are the lucky few who get aligned to a front-end team and can actually visually see the things that they are working on. However, these employees are rarely challenged mentally and spiritually, which thus creates a loss of purpose. And once you lose your purpose, there is going to be a one-way ticket from there. A loss of purpose leads to decline of mental health, an increased burnout rate, and of course, spiritual unhappiness. A survey in 2016, however, still says that 86% of the world's population believe that a top brand should be addressing at least 1 to 2 real-world challenges faced by us today that their product is not yet designed to alleviate. Well, thus begs the question, doesn't it? How does one facilitate the social warriors of our society and providing them the resources, especially technology, to maximize their impact by not burning a hole in their wallets and at the same time giving a sense of purpose and altruism to technologists? Well, my name is Anshuman Magal, as you already know, and I work for the Tech for Social Good team at JP Morgan Chase & Co. for the regions of India and APAC. Our team operates at the confluence of non-profits, social impact organizations, technology, and skilled volunteerism. We organize programs where we invite external and internal participants to come together and address a real-world challenge that is being faced by a social impact organization today. Coming back to Sunil's story. Sunil co-founded an organization in 2020, Table Tennis for Good. And when he did set this up, like a budding entrepreneur, he faced the similar challenges that is present in the real world today: scalability and adoption. He came to us with an idea to build a CRM application or a tool with which he can manage and track and engage his employees and beneficiaries alike. Our team of 8 technologists and a project delivery lead worked with Sunil over 8 months and explored different technologies like Salesforce, HubSpot, and at the end of this entire stint, was able to create a mobile application which is available on Google Play Store even today. And now, automating this entire volunteer onboarding, he has saved thousands and thousands of hours of manual work for the employees within the organization. With this increased productivity, this organization now has scaled its impact to over 8,000 Parkinson's patients and over 84,000 dementia patients in Singapore and all across the world. Apologies. Can we just go back to the slide? Perfect. Since the inception of program, since we started our team, like Sunil, we have also impacted over 1,200 social impact organizations with over 2,600 engagements. We have also used the skills of over 15,000 volunteers, and they have put in a combined total of 643,000 volunteer hours spanning this entire decade. And we're happy to say that 4,500 emerging talent volunteers have obtained family-sustaining jobs. And over 24,000 youth are being inspired annually by our programs. Well, now as prospective technologists and newbies into the industry, if you want to look for opportunities where you can put your skills to good use and make you feel like you are serving a purpose in this world, do look out for employee engagement activities that can help you do so. Otherwise, you can always look at an entire sector of the industry that is looking for these opportunities. The non-profit and the social impact organization sector is looking to welcome talent, and where the priority is innovating and building out solutions that are innovative by nature because of the resource trap that they're on. And if such an opportunity doesn't exist, do not hesitate to create one. All of this can be started with just a single idea. After all it takes is one conversation to propagate an idea and a group of hands to create value and a few communities to change the world. At the end of this, there is a message that I would like to personally share with everybody. If you are not yet inspired to take action, you have access to quality education and skills. And if you are the people who are not making a difference, then who will? At the end of this, I just have one thing to say. I implore you to do the right thing. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. Nothing more and nothing less. Thank you.